Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing, it can be edifying. All right, not meant to be a long video, but, from everything that the Spirit is saying, unto us in this point in time right now, with us being on our watch, brothers bringing out edification, all type of articles, information. It's very plain that America's at its end. All right, very plain. And we've been saying that, but at this point right now, it is more plain than ever that America is on its way out. And the elites know this, and that's why they're pivoting to a new system. I was watching the video yesterday that was going into, how all of these other major empires, how they ended up collapsing economically, and how America is right within the same pattern. It went into ancient Rome, it went into Spain, went into Great Britain, and how basically the country became so big, its territory became so big that it became stretched thin, that they started devaluing the currency, and that's what we're seeing right now with America. The U.S. dollar, which isn't backed by gold anymore, and is losing its hegemony as the world reserve currency, is definitely, a major sign that, this empire is at its end. All right, because truth of the matter is, everybody's been buying oil in dollars, which we call a petrodollar, but now there's another major economic party, so to speak, alliance that has been trying to undermine the petrodollar, and that's BRICS. Okay, you got Russia and China, at the helm of it as major economic and military powers, and America also so happens to be in subtle military conflicts within with these major powers, with Russia via Ukraine, with China via Taiwan, and everybody's seeing what's going on with Israel and Gaza. You got Russia that's coming to the aid of Venezuela, while America's basically declaring war on Venezuela for their oil. They're saying it's for drug cartels, but we know it's for their oil, and the Russians know it's for their oil. So we're seeing so much going on, and we're seeing the hegemony of America being broken down. So, and this is all the will of the Lord, all right? Because the Lord, as we're going to get into, the Lord, he sets up these kingdoms and brings them down. All right, so this is Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. And that's exactly what the Lord did. All right, Esau is the basis of men, and the Lord set him up to show his power in taking them down. Esau being in power right now is evidence that the Lord is ruling. Okay, this because Esau uses his deceit and tries to make himself seem like he's the he's the supreme ruler, so to speak, that he's just the best of the best. But no, you were crawling around, braying in caves and shit, and the Lord cleans you up and set you on high for a season, and mainly for our punishment, the punishment of Yasharallah. But the Lord is showing his power in that. And now he's giving Esau these damn, the technology to have a grand military, to have these ICBMs, and ultimately he allowed Esau to create his own demise. These missiles are going to be what's used to destroy his kingdom. All right. And we're seeing that we're at the tail end of this man's kingdom, man. All right. We seeing Revelation 12 and 12, this devil coming down with that great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. How does he know that? Well, the prophets, but also he just, the scriptures say they are wiser than Daniel. You don't think they've studied these other nations and how they rose and fell, how they studied ancient Rome, how it rose and fell, and how they're dealing with the same thing now. See, what they're going to try to do now to offset that, is to crash this economy and to rise up a new one via digitally, and that's what's going to happen. And the Lord is going to shut it down. All right. That ultimate test of, that hour temptation is when they make that MOTB mandatory. And that's been, a topic on brothers' minds, forever. since the Lord, revealed that unto us. We've constantly Apostle Paul constantly brings out the MOTB, and how prophecy is linking up. And we know World War III won't fully pop off via the missiles until the MOTB is made mandatory throughout the world. And we're seeing that moving toward digital IDs, different countries setting up the digital wallets and whatnot. And America's definitely next. All right. They're moving from the US dollar. They're positioning themselves to already have all this crypto stable coins and shit like that. So when they crash the dollar, they're going to leave you people with these worthless ass FRNs, man. And that's why they're already trying to introduce universal high income and other income, programs. Because another thing is they have these AI, companies, and AI is taking over everybody's job. Amazon, UPS, they're getting replaced. All right, workers are getting replaced. So they're providing people a solution to give them income to sit their ass at home, and hey, we know if it's not right now, it'll soon come that they're going to tie that to that MOTB, because people are on edge. We're still waiting, we're in the last couple of days before November 1st, and food stamps being cut off and shit. They rejected the government open again. There's so much going on, man. They're monitoring 3-Eye Atlas. It's so much going on, man. This place is through as hell. Absolutely through, and we love it. We're rejoicing at this, man. All right, America cannot and will not be healed. All right, and we'll finish off here. This is Jeremiah chapter 51. And verse 5, it says, "For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with the sin against the Holy One of Israel." Yeah, the Lord didn't forsake his people. Although we sin against them, the Lord is still going to establish us on high. Verse 6, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." And that's what the Lord is doing. All right, so the Lord is saying, flee out of the midst of this place. Rise and depart, for this is not your rest. All right, now this isn't a call to physically flee America, but to mentally flee it. The American dream is absolutely dead. Going to school, getting a good job, that's over with. The idea, the illusion of the middle class is gone now. All right, because if people aren't struggling from not having food stamps, they're struggling from the fact that their money can't afford their living situations, man. Their income can't afford their living situations. You got the average person, they might not talk about it, but you got the average person getting off of their first job and then going and door dashing, just for extra groceries or for whatever. That's not the sign of a thriving economy. Yeah, so verse 7, it says, "Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand." All right, the Lord used this place. Again, we just read that the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men and setteth up over it the bases of men. So he put these Edomites in this position to rule over the daughter of Babylon, and ultimately rule over the world. So the Lord used this place for a purpose. It says that made all the earth drunken. Yeah, Esau pushed his wicked ass philosophies on the world. "The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad." Verse 8, "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed." So yeah, maybe she's able to, recover from this, bounce back. Next year is the 250-year anniversary of America, and kingdoms, empires only last about 250 years. And we know, according to 2 Ezra 6 chapter, that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So if Esau is about to fall out, what does that mean? That means Jacob is about to be established, man. And the kingdom of heaven is going to be established forever on the earth. Verse 9, "We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed." Right? This place isn't going to be healed. $38 trillion in debt. You can't heal that, man. All right, the interest payments alone on the debt is $1 trillion a year, man. It says, "Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country." Yeah, everybody came to America, to the land of opportunity, to set up shop, to make merchandise and stuff. But now they're fleeing. You got Elam, you got, these Arab nations, Moab and all them. They're fleeing back to their own lands. "For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies." So we're seeing the fall of the American empire, man. We're living in it. We're witnessing it. Okay? You got older people, you got younger people. Everybody's witnessing the fall of America, man. And China and Russia, they believe that they're going to be the next ones up, but they're not. Psalms the second chapter. Why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? It's vanity for you to think that you're going to rule next. No, the Lord is going to have Israel rule next. All right, Esau was the last heathen kingdom to rule on the earth. All right, and none of these kingdoms got it right. As great as all these different nations were, none of these kingdoms got it right. Israel is going to be the only nation that gets it right. And that, therefore, it's going to be an everlasting kingdom. We're never going to be taken out of power. We're never going to be overruled again. We're in beautiful times. So I just want to bring that out through the spirit. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.